Hey folks, welcome back to HeartGold vs. Crystal. We are here in Route 34, again. Why, might you ask? Well, I have another team member on the way. And it's in one of these trees. Somewhere. Here's the thing about Headbutt. Basically, you headbutt trees, and sometimes, if you're lucky, Pokemon will pop out. And if you're lucky, it's a Pokemon that you actually want to see. As is in this case, it's an Exeggcute. Exeggcute, one of the Pokemon that I have the worst time trying to spell the name of. Now, Exeggcute is a grass psychic type. I'm not sure if it's part psychic as an Exeggcute, but when it evolves it definitely is. And hopefully it's going to provide a little bit of special power to my team. My team's very physical right now. Exeggcute isn't exactly a special sweeper, but does rely primarily on special moves. And Psychic is pretty rad. So it will hopefully be a valuable addition to the team, eventually. I can tell you right now, training it up is a little annoying right now. Not the quickest endeavor. But yeah, it'll evolve eventually into an Exeggutor, which will hopefully be pretty cool. I've never used an Exeggutor before, so it should be interesting. Anyway, let's catch this guy. And there we go. See, that went pretty smoothly. And of course now we have yet another somewhat underleveled team member, so we'll need to train this one up quite a while. And we have yet another egg-related Pokemon, so that's wonderful. Anyway, over on the Crystal side, it's actually interesting. Nearly every tree in the route is headbuttable in HeartGold and Soul Silver. Only one headbuttable tree in Crystal. And luckily Exeggcute appear here. Now Exeggcute, it seems like I would always see them when I was headbutting trees, just for fun or for other Pokemon, back when I was replaying the games, for various other reasons or various other playthroughs. But for whatever reason, I had the darnest time trying to find one. I swear they appeared in Ilex Forest all the frickin' time back in the day, but apparently they've never done that. Anyway, Exeggute's one source of offense right now is the move Barrage, which is basically Fury Attack, and pretty terrible, but it does have Hypnosis. Hypnosis will hopefully be a good way to put things to sleep. Exeggcute, if all goes as planned, will be bulky enough to survive things, put them under hypnosis, and then, like, wail on them there, or switch out to somebody else. We'll see how it turns out. Anyway, didn't want to use up my good balls here, so let's use a Pokeball. Of course. That's just how things go. I really wanted to get everybody in Pokeballs, but I didn't want to lose this chance of catching Exeggcute. Now there are a lot of cool Pokemon you can get from Headbutt, other than Exeggcute. You can get Heracross and Apom and Pineco. I was considering Pineco for a while, but eventually I settled on Exeggcute because someone pointed out to me, hey, you really need some special operations on your team, and I agreed. Anyway, Exeggcute are apparently based on some Japanese mythology, blah blah blah. I don't really care. They're magical talking eggs. And this set, I guess that's weird, will be named Frida. And yes, it is spelled fried, because it's a pun. It's eggs, you see. And that takes care of that Pokemon catching excursion, and now we can go explore Goldenrod City. Plenty of things to do here. We got biggest city in the region here. We got a game corner, we got a radio tower, we got underground, we got a bike shop, we got a department store, we got a gym, and we even have fuzzy little dumplings. You'll see those later. Anyway, first stop here is the radio tower. In either version of the game, you can come here and take a quiz. A series of 5 true or false questions that you should probably know the answer to. And if you get them all correct, then you'll get a radio card, which will let you do cool things like play different music, and attract certain types of Pokemon. Anyway, I won't tell you the answers because you can figure it out for yourselves. Also, best line coming up right here. Surely apricots. The best thing ever, basically. Whitney wasn't originally there in Crystal. She was newly added in HeartGold, Soul Silver, just to get you to remember that there's a gym. I don't know. Anyway, here's a name raider. I mentioned back a little while ago that Webster was all caps when everyone else wasn't, so I fixed that. Webster is now in sentence case. Just a minor nitpick. But you can rename any Pokemon that has your ID and secret ID number there. Anyway, look, it's Lyra again. You know, I swear to God, I don't remember Lyra appearing this much, because I barely remember her having any sort of presence in the game. But here she is popping up a lot in the first few areas. Giving you a fashion case. You'll see what that's for in just a little bit. And we are heading down to the underground. This is, of course, a primo metropolitan area. Of course, there's an underground. And also, somehow, Mother can make phone calls even though we're in a tunnel underground. I don't understand. Oh well. Anyway, some kind of shady characters around here. Shady characters, we got criminals, we got super nerds, we have cosplayers, all sorts of scum and villainy down here. Anywho, neat thing, we can dress up our Pokemon for funny pictures. And of course, who else but Bree would get a makeover of sorts. Basically, this is the purpose of the fashion case that Lyra gave us. We take accessories and move them around and, like, make our Pokemon look adorable with poofy things and other things like that. It's, I don't know, it's dumb, it's pointless. I don't know if there's actually any in-game benefit other than laughing at your Pokemon. Like, back in the day, you could have used it for Pokemon contests, but there aren't Pokemon contests in HeartGold and Soul Silver, so I don't know. But it was added for HeartGold and Soul Silver. It was not in Crystal. I don't think the Game Boy Color could handle it. Anyway, Bree has a mustache now. This is canon. And also we got, how about some feathers for good measure? I have this thing about symmetry. And so it infuriates me, of course, that the bottom two puffs are not the same color. But I gotta have things in the right places, put in the right places. It's dumb and silly, and I enjoy every moment of it. Anyway, you don't start off with too many accessories, but you can get more accessories through means that I don't know because I don't care about this stuff very much. Anyway, you can put them in different settings. I like Egypt meets Texas in space. And let's save it, of course, always. And that is dressing up your Pokemon for fun and zero profit. And of course it needs a title, so... Here's the thing, you have to fish through this weird menu system that's kind of unintuitive to find random words that the game programmers decided to include. They've been doing this since the 3rd generation, I really don't get it. So usually I just find a word that strikes my fancy, and use that. Decided to go for fashion. Because really, fashion. It's so fashionable. Now, also here is the coolest thing ever, the Memorial Photo Studio. Once in a while in the game, you can take a photo of you and your team in various areas of the game. This one puts you in a Team Rocket uniform. It is the best. Anyway, that takes care of the first part of the episode, and I'll see you guys after this commercial break. Alrighty, let's get going to the rest of the underground here. Which is like most of the underground, honestly. There's a bunch of trainers in here that you can fight. And just for the sake of demonstration, even though this would be probably pretty self-explanatory, I'm going to show off a little thing with this guy. He has a bunch of Magnemite. Magnemite are interesting, sort of, because starting with the second generations in the original Gold, Silver, and Crystal, they became part Steel type, since that's when the type was introduced, and gained a horrible, horrible weakness to ground type moves, the quadruple weakness, and despite floating in the sprite there, it doesn't have Levitate, unless it uses a move called Magnet Rise. So if you have a ground type move, it can be annihilated quite easily. Now, Sandra would be able to abuse this in HeartGold if Sandra had any ground type moves. Unfortunately, she doesn't. However, she does in Crystal. So, for the sake of demonstration, I will show off that extreme difference. Anyway, you would be surprised how powerful a Mud Slap can be. Mud Slap is not a strong move, it's like 20 base power, but thanks to the stab and quadruple effectiveness, it takes down the Magnemite in one shot. When you compare that to the extreme number of scratches that it took in HeartGold, that is pretty impressive. Anyway, there's one thing in the underground here that I do want to show off that is exclusive to Crystal, but not exclusive to Crystal, but more convenient for editing, is showing off the haircut guy here. There are two possible ones that'll appear depending on the day you visit. One is more expensive, but apparently gets better results. The other is cheaper, but gets worse results. I've heard that the game is lying to you and it's exactly opposite, but it'll make your Pokemon happier. Anyway, exclusive to Crystal, here is the coin case. In HeartGold, you'll find it in the game corner itself. Here, you'll find it in the underground, for whatever reason. Anyway, don't really care about the trainers here. We do care about this. This is normally up at the top of the underground in Crystal, but they moved it for HeartGold to make room for the photo guy and the decoration guy and all that crazy stuff. Secret base will be there eventually. Anyway, that is the main trainer-infested area of Goldenrod, and this is the game corner. We will not speak of its contents. Unholy things abide in that place. Anyway, this is the department store. It's like a normal store, but has much, much wider selection. It has like 5 floors or something, 5 or 6, and each floor specializes in something. And you'll basically just get a lot more stuff here. It's your go-to shopping place. Anyway, here's the dude who will give you stuff that your mom bought for you. I don't know if we've seen this guy before, but Mom buys a lot of berries. I think she might have some sort of eating disorder. Not sure. I'm never going to use these berries. I don't know what they do. Anyway, I am here for one specific reason. And it is up on some floor. I think it's on the 5th floor, yes. The TM corner. There are a cornucopia, or is a cornucopia, of TMs to be found here. Many, many TMs, most of them useless. Well, I shouldn't say useless. Not really what I'm into. But there is one thing that I do want to grab. Unfortunately, they're rather expensive for this point in the game. So you'll probably only buy one. In the original Crystal, you could buy more Headbutt TMs here. Definitely worth the money. Here you get a bunch of kind of situational things, like I think you get Reflect and Light Screen here. You would see the descriptions on the top screen, but I'm not showing those. What I'm interested in is TM22 there. That is the TM for Solar Beam. Now, I don't always use 2-turn moves, but when I do, it's when I have no other choice. And Barrage is a crappy move, so I would much rather have a stabbed Solar Beam, same type attack bonus Solar Beam on Frida, that would do a lot of damage, more than a Barrage, even though it takes 2 turns to actually do anything. Oh, I don't even have Barrage on this one. Barrage is just in Crystal. Barrage sucks, okay, just FYI, and Uproar isn't very good, and Leech Seed, good lord. It might be able to learn Bullet Seed, but I sold the TM for that because I wasn't planning on using an Exeggcute at the time, and Bullet Seed would encounter many of the same problems that Barrage does in that I have terrible luck. Anyway, up on the top floor, there's some vending machines. I think most department stores have these in the Pokemon series. And here you can buy some very valuable healing items. They heal certain amounts of hit points between the big tiers of potions, because there's super potions that heal 50 and then hyper potions that heal 200, and these are the happy medium, and they're usually the most economically sound way of healing, other than Pokemon Centers, clearly. So if you have spare money, I would recommend stocking up on lemonades, or depending on if you have like Pokemon with relatively low HP stats, go for soda pops. But definitely good economic investments. Anyway, not much left here in Goldenrod. There's, I think, only one stop I want to make after this. Yes, sirree doodle, we are going to the bike shop. Now, the owner of this bike shop moved from Kanto. He used to live in Cerulean City and sell bicycles there. But they're incredibly expensive, and I think that might be his business problem here as well. But he will give you a free bicycle for marketing purposes, and bicycles are the quickest way to move around in this game. They've been around since the first game, and they've only become more useful as time went on. Now, there is a drawback to the bicycle. Pokemon won't follow you when you're riding the bicycle, and also the bike music, which incidentally is a sped-up version of the Goldenrod Town theme, will cover up whatever music you have for that area, which is unfortunate. But anyway, that more or less takes care of Goldenrod City other than the gym, so I will see you guys next time for training.